Hey there, everyone. This is Samuel Johnson, and welcome back to the Lyoko Retrospectives. And today we're going to be discussing episode 16 of Code Lyoko, Claustrophobia. Straight to the point, this is another filler episode. In this case, the A plot for this episode, the one in the real world, involves a new kid coming to Caddock named Theo, one who immediately starts taking a liking to Sissy, and likewise Sissy to him. He seems like a nice enough guy, gets along with her well enough, but because he's a guy that's interested in Sissy, Herb, the nerdy guy, immediately just hates him and just wants him to go away. Well, while Theo just continues ingratiating himself to Sissy, Herb wants to get rid of him, but and of course and even tries at certain points sabotaging Theo's chances. Like, for example, a quote unquote initiation that they have for having Theo join their group is that he has to mummify a skeleton that they have in the science lab, and as such, Herb tries to call Jim and get him caught so he can get kicked out of school. But though the only reason that fails is because before he can actually call Jim, Odd and Ulrich show up with Kiwi, having him howl and then dressing him up in a pillowcase to make it look like he's a ghost, scaring them off. As such, it's just sort of the conflict, it's just sort of a somewhat conflict. But the second episode, of course, it's Kolyoko, so of course Xana's up to something. And in this case, Xana's case is, which just, if you can guess by the name of the title, it's just pretty much just a trap. And I don't mean like in the case of, oh, it's a trap, they're gonna kill you. No, I mean he's trapping them. In this case, during lunch the next day, he overloads all the circuits in the cafeteria and pretty much electrifies the whole building and causing the whole building to be overcharged. Jeremy and Yumi managed to get out because they left before dessert, so they're fine. So they're not in there. But otherwise, Odd, Ulrich, Sissy, Herb, Nick, and Theo, and Millie, I think, and her friend. I still can't remember her friend's name. Sorry to say, are trapped in the cafeteria with no way out. So it's pretty much, as such, Jeremy and Yumi have to, as such, after they've informed proper authorities about what's going on, Jeremy and Yumi go to the factory to try and find a way to shut everything down, to try and deactivate the tower, or whatever tower Xana activated. So, yeah. So, what's so special about the episode? Well, I guess the biggest thing with this episode is Theo. And I really have nothing to say about Theo. I'm not even kidding. Theo is sort of a generic love interest. He's kind of like that. He's kind of like a character that's introduced to this episode, and then, to my knowledge, I don't think he ever comes back in the show. Because I think this is the first time I remember seeing him. So, yeah, I don't know exactly what. And, well, I'll give the show credit. He's not badly written. He's not like a jerk, he's not like a jerk who thinks highly of himself. He seems nice enough. He's clearly interested in Sissy, and he's willing to put his best foot forward in trying to get closer to her. And likewise, she's obviously attracted to him. So there is still that connection. It's just the only thing getting in the way of that. It's just that the only conflict they have is Herb, who's just being a jealous, clingy boyfriend. Except he's not Sissy's boyfriend. He's just a creepy. Dickish weirdo. I guess that's the way I can sum it up. He's a clingy, dickish weirdo. I think I have talked about this before. He does obviously have a crush on Sissy, and that's not reciprocated, which she does kind of take advantage of. But in this case, when a new guy shows up and Sissy is interested, and likewise Sissy and this guy are interested in each other, he immediately just goes to arms against him. Which in the beginning, yeah, it makes sense, but he has that when the crisis starts coming, and Theo and Sissy are the ones trying to keep everyone calm, and Sissy even calls her father outside the building to try and get updates on the situation. He's still freaking out, though he does eventually calm down when Theo and Sissy tell him this is not the time for freaking out. So there's that. But my biggest problem with Theo is that he's generic. There's nothing that sticks out about him, is what I'm saying. He's not a bad guy. He seems nice enough, and it sounded nice that the Lyoko group aren't trying to keep him away from Sissy and Co. Because he's clearly making Sissy happy, and Sissy's not doing anything to antagonize him. So they seem nice. It looks like they're good enough together, but at the same time, but at the same time, but he doesn't. There's nothing about him that's interesting. He's just generic boyfriend character. Nothing about him sticks out. He's just there to be interested in Sissy, kind of be nice, just kind of to be just kind of be generic, and then I think he just disappears. I don't think he ever appears again after this episode. It's like with the girl that looked like Aelita. I forgot her name. She appeared for one episode, but now I don't. But to my knowledge, we never see her again in the show. So yeah, he's just kind of a token one note character who really doesn't have an impact on anything to my knowledge. If he does come back later, someone let me know, but otherwise, no. Don't know a thing about him. He's just there. And what makes it even dumber is how they get rid of him, because like after they fix everything and turn back time, they pretty much this events that led to Sissy meeting Theo are repeated. It was a soccer game that again with Ulrich and Odd against Sissy's group, and Ulrich and Odd won. And then as everything was wrapping up, Theo appeared and volunteered. And after he saw Sissy and became smitten, he volunteered to join their team and help them out. Oh, so what happens when they reset time? Odd directs attention instead towards Yumi because she was watching the game and then left after it was over, and has him walk Yumi home, which is a doubly dick move. And his reasoning for why he set Theo up with Yumi instead of actually letting things play out the way that they did before. He doesn't want to deal with the hassle of getting Kiwi back into that ghost thing and sneaking out to help Theo. That's it. That is his only reason for altering things. He doesn't want to do that again. It's just stupid. Like, really dang stupid. Like, just... Why? He's a nice enough guy, and he's... I don't know. It's just stupid. Just stupid. Theo is just... Yeah. I don't hate him. Again, I don't hate him. It's just that there's nothing about him that sticks out. He's generic and boring and doesn't really do much. He does, I mean, again, okay. He does try to keep calm, but otherwise he's just generic boyfriend character, just here for the episode, and afterwards is just gone. And also when we get the Xana plot, I will give credit, and it's kind of standard, I suppose. In this case, Xana's not going for any elaborate death traps. It's just that he takes control of the power systems for the cafeteria and just sets everything up to max to the point where sockets blow out, things are exploding, and it pretty much just causes the whole building to destabilize to the point where the ceiling almost caves in. It's obviously a trap. That was meant. Even Jeremy figures out that the reason Xana hit the cafeteria was because he was aiming to get the Lyoko group, and the only reason he didn't get them all was because Jeremy and Yumi left early. But it's still kind of. But even with the place is going to come down eventually, it's still kind of standard. Not really up to it doesn't really feel as big as other things. We had Xana take control of a alien costume to go after them, I suppose. And then you got the satellite laser from space that was directly targeting them. That was actually nice. But again, it's just kind of standard. But again, to its credit, it's still kind of nice seeing them trying other ways to try and get them all down. Like, they try breaking through the windows, but they're too strong. They try cutting the power to the building. It still doesn't work. They try cutting the power to they try cutting even more power lines. The thing is still going. Eventually the fire department tries to break in through the ceiling. But at that point, the building is getting to the point where the ceiling's about to come down. So, yeah, there is still some tension. It's just that it's just sort of it just kind of feels standard. Nothing that big that sticks out. It's just a simple, clean death trap. Get them in, take control of a place they're already in, and then just turn it, and then just make it so they can't, and then not only make it so the place will kill them, but they can't leave. Just simple, effective, just that. So, otherwise, there's not really much I can think about in this episode. I mean, there's one scene there in this episode where Jeremy and Aelita were working together, as Aelita had to go to a tower in the forest sector to get some codes for devirtualization, but otherwise, just standard generic filler. Nothing. It's not bad. It's still perfectly fine, but yeah. Otherwise, at the end of the day, it's just a filler episode. Not bad filler, but just standard filler. And I guess that's the best way I can describe this episode. Just standard. Not awful, not great, just standard. So, yeah. Guess that's it then. I'm sorry. If you really like this episode, more power to you. I don't hate it, but yeah. So, yeah. Thank you for watching. I'm Samuel Johnson, and I'll see you next week. Take care.